Okay, so there are two things that every parent of a kid with any type of disabilities or challenges needs, and that's a parenting plan and an education plan. These things are critical because as parents, we are the common denominator in this whole process. The therapies, the IEP meetings, doctor's appointments, whatever it may be, as the parent, you are the common thread. And sometimes for us, the frustration is that none of these pieces seem to come together in a cohesive way. The ABA is doing one thing, early intervention is doing something else, the school seems to be doing something totally different, but your voice could be the power that unifies that process, but you have to have a plan to make that happen. So a parenting plan grounds your core philosophies of who you are as a parent and how it meets the needs of that particular child. So that's your religious views, if you have any, your communication style, it includes discipline, it includes your who and what you are when it comes to affection. All of those things are in your plan. The reason this is so critical is because every kid needs something different. And when you really start to sit down and analyze what's the best way to reach the different children in your house, you'll realize that you show up different. And many of you already do this, it's just not in any formal plan, right? First, sit and really think about who you are as a parent, how you want to show up, how you want to be present, and if you could do this, what would the best of you as a parent look like? Not to say that we're going to always hit those marks, but it's good to identify who we want to be. And then we work on meeting those goals based on the needs of our particular kiddo. So an education plan is 3 to 4 principles that guide everything else about learning for your kid. Those principles don't have to be education related, meaning it doesn't have to be a reading goal, it doesn't have to be a math goal, because remember, an IEP is designed to produce long-term results. The whole premise of an IEP is to guide post-secondary education, employment, and independent living. So an IEP is helping you shape a kid for their future, right? But you got to have a plan about what you want that future to look like. So if you haven't identified what's the overall goal, then it's hard to make things line up to support that process. So for my youngest kid, his 3 things are: he needs to have self-care skills, he needs to be able to earn a living, and he needs to be able to give back to his community. Those are his 3 guiding educational principles. So all the decisions we make about therapy, all the decisions we make about IEP goals, they all support the big things that we have identified. As he's gotten older, he gets input into what those 3 things look like specifically, right? So, we've done entrepreneurship. He gives back to the community in various ways. We're still working on self-care. But the point is, when we sit down and we have a therapy session, then his therapy goals line up with our goals. His IEP goals line up with our goals. But if I don't take the time to identify his long-term big picture, who he looks like as an adult, if I don't define that, then it's hard for me to communicate and work with these other processes to help produce the long-term results we want to see. Okay?